Hi, my name is Amy. I'm excited to share with you this yoga program today. So go all the way through, breathe, stretch, strengthen yourself, feel good, and at the end, click the button. Enjoy your workout. Bring consciousness to your standing position. Align the outer edges of your feet so they're parallel and hip distance apart. And then go ahead and bring your hands to your heart center. The heels of the hands will gently connect to the sternum, and you can feel a nice spacious quality across the front of the chest. As you inhale, I'd like you to sweep your arms out to the sides with both elbows bent. And as you exhale, let the breath lead your hands back together again at the heart center. And just like that again, inhale, open the arms wide like wings. Exhale, bring the palms back together. 2 more times on your own, following your own breath, so it can be slower or faster than me. Just see if you can let the breath lead the movement. Perhaps even noticing those slight little moments of stillness between the inhale and exhale. Next time the hands rejoin at the heart center, let the sternum lift and bow the head to the heart, softly closing the eyes. Beginning of your practice is an opportunity to listen inside to the wisdom that always remains there, to the inner teacher. Take 2 more breaths here with the eyes closed. The mind wanders, it's okay. Just come back to the feeling of your feet on the earth and your breath as it flows. Your next exhale, you can release your hands back down towards the floor. Let the chin come to level and softly open your eyes. I'd like you to turn sideways on your mat. Take your feet, as always, hip distance apart and parallel. Root down strongly through the feet. Ascend through the crown of the head and take a few breaths. Just notice you're standing. As you inhale, sweep the arms overhead towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the hands through the heart center all the way down to the ground. So if your hamstrings are a little tight, you're going to need to bend your knees. Try picking up all 10 toes. Let your head and neck relax. Breathe in and out through the nose. If your body allows, you certainly could straighten the legs, but you need to make sure that your low back area is tipping down towards the floor. On your next inhale, we'll bend the knees, bring the hands onto the shins, and make a nice long spine. As you exhale, replace the hands on the floor and move the legs any amount that you can towards straight without lifting the fingers. Inhale, gently lengthen, and exhale and fold. 2 more times like that. Inhale, strong legs, engage the thighs, low back and lower belly working together. Exhale and fold. Inhale and then pause in that long position. Root down strongly through your feet and come all the way up to standing. On your exhale, bring your hands back through the heart center. So those movements are sometimes referred to as half sun salutation. We're going to put them all together. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale through the center, strong legs, bent or straight. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Hands may need to come to the shins, and then exhale again and fold. Next, inhale, all the way up to standing. Take the arms up. Exhale back to your center. One last time, just like that. Inhale, 1 breath per movement. Don't hold the breath. Exhale, come back through the center. Inhale, get nice and long, knees bent. And this time, step back into a plank pose. So it's really the top of a push-up. So the shoulders are right over the wrists, fingers are well spread, and first fingers are parallel. really strong from your tailbone to your heels. If that feels like it's too intense, simply drop your knees into a half plank. Breathing in either position. And when you're done, lowering the knees and sitting back into child's pose. The buttocks is gonna come towards the feet. The arms can remain out in front. Okay, so what I'd like you to do though is keep the arms active. The top part of the arm bone is gonna lift up and it's gonna kind of hollow out the armpit chest area. And then you're gonna press the sitting bones back towards the heels. It sometimes can help to walk the hands in a little bit towards your knees. That'll help you get more pressure. Once you've done that, then you can relax your head between your arms and take 2 more breaths there. Inhaling, coming back to all fours. Take your knees right underneath your hips and your hands slightly in front of your shoulders. As you inhale, you're gonna arch your spine. And as you exhale, rounding, the tailbone lowers, the arm bones resist forward, and the head relaxes. Inhale, gently arch. Exhale and round. As you round, you can really notice how the lower belly has to engage. Tailbone lowers down towards the floor. One last time. Inhale, arch. Exhale and round. Great. When you're done, come back to a neutral place. Dig your toes underneath you. We're gonna make our way into downward facing dog. So for this one, you're gonna keep your knees bent and your spine nice and long. That length in your spine is really the most important thing. So lengthen from the fingers all the way to the sitting bones. Tone your lower belly. If your hamstrings allow, then you can straighten the legs. But if the back gets rounded, re-bend the knees. Enjoy 2 more breaths here. Arms are strong and straight. Breathing in and out through the nose, not holding the breath. When you're ready, lift your gaze. Walk your feet in the direction of your hands. It can help to look that way first and bend your knees as you go. Forward folding, let the head and neck relax. Root down through the feet. Inhale, come halfway up, hands either on the floor or back on the shins. And from that place, you're gonna come slowly up to standing. Strong legs. Inhale, take your arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale back to your heart center. Enjoy your breath. Good job. Take a nice wide stance on your mat, about 1 leg's distance or slightly wider. Outer edges of the feet are gonna be a little bit pigeon-toed. So what I'd like you to do is turn your right toes in slightly and turn your left toes out completely. So your heel, your front heel will dissect your back arch. Okay, you can put your hands on your pelvis, just make sure your hips are level. And then what we're gonna do is as you exhale, I want you to bend your front leg. And then as you inhale, go ahead and straighten it out. Just like that. So it's really important that this knee, front knee, is tracking towards your second toe, both when it's bent and straight. Don't let it curl in. That's what it's probably gonna wanna do. So as you exhale, bending, getting it to about 90 degrees, so you'll feel your thighs working. But keep your back leg nice and straight too, so it's really helping you out. Keep the back leg straight. If you'd like to add the arms, you can do that. A few more. Taking the arms out to the sides. As you inhale, exhaling down. This time, inhale, take the arms overhead, straighten the front leg, and reach up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, re-bend the front knee. Inhale and take the arms up. So the nice thing about yoga is that you're creating health and strength in your body, but you're really present with what you're doing, right? So pay attention to your breathing. Enjoy the sensations of work through the legs. On your next exhale, go ahead and just pause there for a few breaths. Settle in and see if you can be with the sensations. If you feel like you'd like, you can turn your gaze over your left hand. Notice the breath, still smooth. Rest if you need to. And on your next inhale, go ahead and straighten your left leg. You might need to shorten your stance a tiny bit. Just heel toe the back leg in. We're gonna tip over to the left for triangle pose. Bring the left hand down onto your left shin. Keep the lower belly engaged and take the upper arm up towards the ceiling. So keep breathing there. You can pick up all of your toes. That'll help engage the muscles of the legs. Inner thighs are active as well. If you happen to have practiced yoga before, if you're very flexible, you're certainly welcome to bring those left fingertips onto the floor behind the ankle. But for most of us, on the shin is going to be good. But don't put the hand on the knee. Okay, breathe. On your next inhale, turn your gaze towards the floor, root down through your legs. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Now we're going to take the opposite side. Place the hands back onto the hips. Turn the right toes out completely. Left toes are already slightly angled in. You're gonna bend that knee. Adjust your stance as you need to. Heel to arch in alignment. Inhale and straighten the leg. You're doing a great job. Just stick with it. Stay with your breath. Exhale, bend. Keep your back inner thigh really lifted and straighten. And if you like, you can add the arms. Extending them out to the sides, turn the palms facing up. On your next inhale, straighten the right leg, lift the quads, and exhale, rebend. All the time, keeping that back left leg super engaged. Toning the whole body. On your next exhale, pause here. See if the front thigh can come parallel to the floor, just going in that general direction, it's okay. And then if you like, turn your gaze over the hands. Fingertips can be apart or together. You can experiment, see what you like better, but let there be energy all the way through the wrists and fingers. On your next inhale, straighten that leg. Nice work. Heel toe the back leg in a tiny bit, shorter stance, and then tip over to the side, bringing the hands onto the shin, or maybe for a few of us, onto the floor. That's pretty far. So you want to keep your shoulders stacked as much as possible, chest nice and open, and let this upper rib cage soften in. Head's just in neutral. You can look towards me, breathing here. Each exhale, navel moves towards the spine. Root down through the feet. Each inhale, nice and full. And turning your gaze towards the earth. Root down through the legs. Inhale, come all the way up. Nicely done. And turn your feet back so they're parallel. Bring your hands onto your hips. You can step your feet closer together, hip distance apart, or slightly wider. Inhale, bend the elbows and lift the chest. And exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands onto the floor and either legs bent or straight. If the elbows should bend, they can bend out to the side so the shoulder blades will remain hugging the back of the heart. On your next inhale, start to bend your knees deeply and slowly roll up to standing, but your legs are really active. Core is super strong. Let the crown of the head align right over the heels. And stand up nice and tall. Please make your way down to the floor for some postures here. Please make your way onto all fours. And I'd like you to step your left leg forward between your hands. So take a nice long lunge. Make sure that your knee does not go beyond your ankle. You can pick up all 5 of those front toes and then stretch your other toenails back behind you. In that place, what I'd like you to do is hug from your front heel to your back knee and just feel your lower belly tone as well as your inner thighs. So if this is a pretty big stretch in the front of your right thigh, please stay here. If you'd like to make it more challenging, dig your back toes underneath you. Place your hands on your hips, the elbows slightly in towards one another. Move your waist back and lift your belly off your front thigh. So get a nice stretch along the front of the back leg. Breathe there. If it feels like it's too much, just go back to that earlier pose with your hands down on the floor and your back toes underneath you. So wherever you are, take a few more breaths. If you're in that upright position, let your throat glide back as if there was a nice pillow right behind your head. Enjoy the feeling through the legs, all the way up through the crown of the head. And on your next exhale, place your hands down onto the floor. Step your leg back and make your way into plank pose. You have two choices here too. Either legs straight, a little more challenging, or knees down. Whatever the case, shoulders right over your wrists, first fingers parallel, all the other fingers well spread. Engage your lower belly, bring your head to neutral, take a few breaths. So if you're feeling like this is really challenging in and of itself, I strongly encourage you to stay here. You'll develop the strength in the upper body as well as the core. If you'd like additional challenge and lower halfway down, hold and breathe. Long from the crown of the head down to the knees. Don't let the shoulders go below the elbows. Better to err a little bit higher than a little bit lower. On your next exhale, from either pose, come all the way down onto your belly. You're gonna bring the right forearm out in front and take hold of the top of your left foot. When you're ready, inhale, kick the foot slightly into the hands, and then exhale and lower back down. So as you go ahead and rest your forehead onto your forearm, make sure that that bent knee doesn't splay out to the side. If you'd like to deepen the pose, you can bend the elbow up towards the ceiling and let the head and neck relax. Enjoy 2 more breaths. See if you can get both hip bones in the front to press down onto the floor equally, and stay present with the sensations that you feel. Release your leg carefully. Stretch all 10 toenails straight back behind you. Release your arms back there too. Bring your gaze to neutral, and either your feet can be hip distance apart or you can bring your big toes all the way together. So in either case, you're gonna lift the legs the same amount as the torso. Breathing here. Strengthening the muscles of the back. Think more about the length from the crown of the head to the toes than about the height. So really extend out through the feet and breathe smoothly. And release. Good job. We're gonna make our way back to child's pose. That should feel really nice. Separate your knees, a little wider than your hips, bring your big toes together. And either your arms can come forward with the forearms lifted, or you can stack one fist, one palm, and let the forehead relax there. If your buttocks doesn't fall towards your heels all the way, just scoot your elbows in a little closer. That'll help pressurize the pelvis towards the heels. And on your next inhale, make your way back to all fours, taking the opposite leg forward. So take that right leg forward between the hands. Same sequence on this side. So stay focused, stay present with what you're doing. Align the knee right over the ankle, back knees and toenails down on the floor. That's gonna be option 1. Scissor or pull the energy towards the midline from the front heel to the back knee, and let the belly lift off that front thigh. Get as long through the crown of the head as you can. If you need to, come way up on your fingertips. Great, and if you're feeling a big stretch, please stay here. If you'd like to go deeper, dig the back toes underneath you. Legs are really strong. Bring the hands back onto the hips. Good, throat back, waist back, head back. Enjoy the stretch in the front of that leg. And making your way back. When it feels even from side to side, go ahead and come back to all fours. Back into your plank pose. Same choice, either legs lifted or not. So I'll demonstrate lifted this time. So if this is feeling like it's enough, please stay. If you'd like to challenge yourself today, if you have lots of energy, exhale, lower. Bit like a push-up. The elbows are only about 3 inches away from your ribs. Shoulders are nice and lifted. Lower belly is toned. And all the way to the floor. Nice job. Take the opposite stretch of the quads. So bring the forearm out in front. Take hold of the top of the right foot and breathe there. So if it's available, start to hug that heel closer to the buttocks. Keep both frontal hip bones on the floor and perhaps let your head relax onto your front forearm. Enjoy those moments of quiet. Right? Breathe and just hear your own breathing. Notice its wave-like rhythm. And carefully releasing. One last pose here in this sequence. We're going to take Sphinx posture. The shoulders are right over your elbows. First fingers are parallel. I'd like you to pull or drag from your hands to your feet and lift your lower belly up off the floor slightly. In that place, let the heart melt down to the gates of the arms and breathe length into the spine. So strengthening both the back and the abdominal muscles, a bit like we do in Cobra pose in the sun salutations. And on your next exhale, release. Make your way to child's pose. You did a great job with the sequence. Now just take rest. Okay, that's it. Please make your way to a lying position on your back. Enjoy the feeling of the floor beneath you. You can gently press into the back of the head, pick up the upper back, and slide the shoulder blades slightly towards one another so they're nice and flat on the floor. And from that place, press into your feet and move your hips like 3 to 6 inches over to the right side or away from me. And then you're going to bend your knees to a right angle and let them both come over towards me. So as much as you can, the knees are going to be stacked and the feet are going to be stacked. It might not be exactly perfect, but it's going to be close. If you feel any discomfort, just grab a couch pillow or something and stick it between your knees. That'll help. So from this place, start to twist your torso away from me and breathe deeply, letting gravity do most of the work here. If you get any discomfort in that right shoulder, the upper shoulder, then you can just bring that hand back down towards your hip and bend the elbow. Okay, a few more breaths. If you feel okay, you can stretch both arms out. Twisting poses are really great for the abdominal organs, for your digestion. When you're ready, inhaling, they're also very good for the discs of the spine. So bringing your feet back onto the floor, bring both hips now to the center and towards me, about 3 to 6 inches. Pick up your knees and take both knees over to the opposite side or away from me. Breathe there. If that arm, that upper left arm feels awkward, then just bend it and place it down on the hip. And see if you can stack your knees and feet as much as possible. Let the body relax and take some nice deep breaths. Your next inhale, engage your core, bring your legs back to the center. Bring your hips to the center as well. And give your knees a nice big squeeze. You can either hold the fronts of the knees or the shins. And if you can, let your shoulder blades and your sacrum remain on the floor. If you want to go a little deeper into that stretch, what you can do is called happy baby pose. You take the outer edges of the feet with your hands, flex the feet, and draw the knees gently down in towards the outer ribs. So in yoga, you never want to force or pull on your body. So just gently drawing the hands down, keeping the feet flexed and active, and press up towards the sky with the inner edge of your foot, so the ball of your big toes and inner heels pressing up towards the ceiling. Last couple breaths here. If you like, you can gently rock from side to side. And then give your knees one more nice big squeeze. Okay, that's that. So from lying down on your back, go ahead and stretch your legs out a little bit wider than your hips. I just want you to windmill your feet in and out a little bit, and then allow them to relax however they land. So from here, back of the head is on the floor, shoulder blades are on the floor, and you can just gently pick up the outside of your thighs and roll them up towards the ceiling and let your inner thighs descend more heavily towards the floor. So from that place, you should feel a tiny little inward curve at your low back. The upper back should be firmly on the ground, and a tiny little curve underneath your neck, which is your cervical curve. So we're setting up for final relaxation. If you have a ponytail, you can just move it over to the side. And if you don't feel like your shoulder blades are flat on the floor, press gently into the back of the head, pick up the upper back just a little bit, and just glide the shoulder blades towards one another, not down towards your hips, but just underneath you. Once you've got yourself well set up, release your arms so they fall away from the body, and allow your eyes to close. So I'll talk you through from here on out, so don't open your eyes or look around. Instead, invite the body to relax onto the floor completely. Just notice your breathing as it naturally comes in and goes out. You don't have to do anything, just pay attention, see how it feels. Invite the weight of your bones to fall deeply towards the floor, surrendering to gravity. Allow the skin and muscles to relax. Allow the organs themselves within the body to be relaxed. If thoughts should enter the mind, which they do, just notice thinking, and then let those thoughts go with your next exhale and come back to the sensation of relaxing on the floor. Resist the urge to get up. Just take one more minute to completely rest your body and mind, and to integrate all that you've experienced today in your practice. Enjoy a few more breaths. Perhaps noticing those little spaces between the inhale and exhale, and between the exhale and inhale. It's just a moment of non-doing, of pure, spacious consciousness. Allow yourself to reside in those moments. In the next few moments, you can begin to take a few deeper breaths, still lying down on your back. You can move or stretch your arms in any way that feels most joyful to you. And And then just bend your knees and roll to one side. You can prop your head on your arm as if you're waking up for the first time today. Mindful of the transitions, use your arms to press slowly back up to any comfortable seat. It can be crossed legs, it can be one leg bent, one leg out to the side. It doesn't have to look any particular way. Just let it be upright, steady, and comfortable. Allow the hands to rest on the knees. Once again, close your eyes for one final minute. Thank yourself for this time you've created. Notice how you feel in this moment. And take that connection with you into the rest of your day. Connected to yourself, to your breath, and to those around you. Fold your palms together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra, that gesture of honoring that which is within yourself and all living beings, and offering. May we offer our consciousness through our thoughts, speech, and actions to peace for ourselves and for all living things. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me today. Namaste. Congratulations on completing your first yoga practice. I'd just like to let you know that this gesture, Namaste, means to honor that which is within myself and within you and all living things. Namaste.